If you're experiencing feelings of sadness, emptiness, or depression after retirement and you've been told it's just a normal part of aging or adjusting to this new phase of life, I need you to understand that there's a deeper, more fundamental reason for what you're going through that has nothing to do with getting older and everything to do with a basic human need that retirement has suddenly stripped away from your daily existence. What I'm about to reveal might completely change how you understand your post-retirement emotions and, more importantly, give you the power to reclaim the joy, purpose, and vitality that you thought might be gone forever. The truth is, millions of seniors are struggling with depression after retirement, and while doctors, family members, and even mental health professionals often attribute these feelings to the natural challenges of aging or the stress of major life transitions, they're missing the real culprit that's at the heart of this epidemic of post-retirement despair. Right now, as you're listening to this, you might be wondering why retirement, which was supposed to be the reward for decades of hard work, feels more like a punishment, leaving you feeling lost, disconnected, and questioning your value and place in the world. You might wake up each morning with nowhere important to go, no one depending on you, and no clear sense of what your days are supposed to look like, and instead of feeling the freedom and relaxation that retirement promised, you feel empty, restless, and profoundly sad in ways that you never expected. The conventional wisdom tells us that retirement depression is caused by the loss of structure, the reduction in income, or the fear of aging and mortality, and while these factors certainly play a role, they're not the fundamental cause of the deep emotional pain that so many retirees experience. The real reason you're feeling depressed after retirement goes much deeper than schedule changes or financial concerns. It's the sudden and complete loss of what psychologists call generative purpose, which is the fundamental human need to feel that your existence matters, that you're contributing something meaningful to the world, and that your knowledge, skills, and experience have value and impact beyond yourself. For decades, your work provided this sense of purpose, even if you didn't always love your job or feel particularly passionate about what you did. Every day, you got up knowing that someone needed you to show up, that your efforts contributed to something larger than yourself, and that your skills and experience were valuable and necessary. You had colleagues who depended on you, tasks that required your expertise, and a clear sense that your presence in the world made a difference, even if that difference felt small or routine. Then retirement arrived, and suddenly, overnight, all of that disappeared. No one needs you to show up anymore, your skills and experience feel irrelevant, and you're faced with endless days of leisure activities that, while pleasant, don't provide the deep sense of meaning and contribution that your soul craves. This isn't about missing the stress or the commute or even the social aspects of work. It's about the profound existential shift that occurs when you go from being needed and useful to feeling invisible and dispensable. The human brain is wired to seek purpose and meaning, and when these fundamental needs aren't met, it responds with the same neurochemical changes that we see in clinical depression: decreased serotonin and dopamine, increased cortisol, and alterations in brain regions associated with motivation, reward, and emotional regulation. What you're experiencing isn't a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It's a normal biological response to the loss of something that your brain considers essential for psychological well-being. The tragedy is that our society has created a model of retirement that ignores this basic human need for purpose and meaning, instead promoting the idea that happiness in later life comes from endless leisure, relaxation, and freedom from responsibility. But here's what decades of research on aging and well-being have shown us. The seniors who thrive after retirement aren't those who spend their days playing golf or watching television. They're the ones who find new ways to contribute, to matter, and to use their skills and experience in service of something meaningful. The good news is that once you understand what's really causing your post-retirement depression, you can take specific steps to address it, and the solution isn't more antidepressants or therapy sessions focused on accepting your new reality. It's about consciously creating new sources of generative purpose that give your life meaning and your days direction. This doesn't mean you need to go back to work in the traditional sense, but it does mean recognizing that your need for purpose didn't disappear when you retired, and finding ways to meet that need is essential for your emotional and psychological well-being. The first step is to acknowledge that what you're feeling isn't just sadness about leaving your career behind, it's grief for the loss of your sense of usefulness and contribution. And like any grief, it needs to be honored and processed rather than dismissed or minimized. Many retirees try to push through these feelings or convince themselves that they should be grateful for their freedom and stop complaining, but this approach only deepens the depression because it doesn't address the underlying need for purpose and meaning. Instead, you need to give yourself permission to mourn the loss of your former role and identity while simultaneously beginning the process of creating new sources of meaning and contribution. This might involve volunteering for causes you care about, but not just any volunteering. You need to find opportunities that genuinely use your skills, experience, and knowledge in ways that feel meaningful and impactful. It might mean mentoring younger people in your former field, sharing your expertise with nonprofit organizations, or using your professional skills to help others in ways that feel significant and valuable. The key is to look for ways to contribute that honor your experience and abilities rather than making you feel like you're just filling time or doing busy work. Many retirees make the mistake of thinking that any activity is better than no activity, so they sign up for volunteer opportunities that don't match their skills or interests, and then they wonder why they still feel empty and unfulfilled. The activities that will truly address your depression are those that allow you to feel needed, competent, and valuable, where your presence makes a genuine difference and where your years of experience are seen as assets rather than outdated history. Another crucial element is finding ways to share your knowledge and wisdom with others, because one of the most powerful sources of meaning in later life comes from the sense that you're passing on something valuable to the next generation. This might involve formal teaching or tutoring, but it could also mean writing about your experiences, creating something that preserves your knowledge for others, or simply being intentional about sharing your insights and perspectives with family members, friends, or community members who could benefit from your wisdom. The human need to feel that our lives have mattered and that our experiences have value doesn't diminish with age. If anything, it becomes more important as we face our own mortality and want to know that our time on Earth has contributed something meaningful to the world. Social connection is also essential, but not just any social connection. You need relationships where you feel valued for who you are and what you bring to the table, not just where you're seen as someone to have coffee with or play cards with. The relationships that will truly support your emotional well-being are those where you feel heard, respected, and appreciated for your unique perspective and experience. This might mean deepening existing relationships by sharing more of your thoughts and feelings, or it might mean developing new relationships with people who appreciate your wisdom and experience. Many retirees find that their most meaningful connections come from relationships where they're able to give as much as they receive, where their role isn't just to be cared for but to care for others and contribute to their well-being. Physical health and mental stimulation are also important factors in addressing post-retirement depression, but they work best when they're connected to your sense of purpose and meaning. Exercise that feels like drudgery won't have the same positive impact as physical activity that's connected to something you care about. Maybe walking with a friend who needs support, gardening to grow food for others, or participating in physical activities that contribute to causes you value. Similarly, mental stimulation that feels pointless or forced won't address the deeper need for purpose. You need intellectual challenges that feel meaningful and connected to your values and interests. The process of rebuilding your sense of purpose after retirement takes time and patience, and it's important to recognize that this is a significant life transition that deserves the same attention and care that you would give to any other major life change. You wouldn't expect to immediately feel comfortable in a new city or a new relationship, and you shouldn't expect to immediately feel fulfilled and purposeful in retirement without consciously working to create new sources of meaning. This process often involves some trial and error as you explore different activities and opportunities to find what truly resonates with you and meets your need for contribution and significance. It's also important to recognize that your sense of purpose might look different than it did during your working years, and that's okay. The activities and contributions that feel meaningful to you now might be quieter, more personal, or more focused on relationships and community than on professional achievement, and this shift reflects the natural evolution of human development rather than a diminishment of your value or importance. Many retirees discover that their most fulfilling contributions come from areas they never had time to explore during their working years: creative pursuits, community involvement, spiritual growth, or family relationships. And these new sources of meaning can be just as powerful and fulfilling as any professional accomplishment. One of the most important insights to understand is that depression after retirement is often a signal that your soul is calling for something more meaningful than the leisure-focused model of retirement that our society promotes. Instead of seeing your feelings as a problem to be solved or medicated away, try to see them as valuable information about what you truly need to feel fulfilled and alive. Your depression might be telling you that you need to feel useful, that you need to contribute, that you need to matter, and that you need to use your gifts and abilities in service of something you care about. When you listen to these messages and take action to address the underlying needs, you'll often find that the depression naturally begins to lift as you rediscover your sense of purpose and place in the world. The transformation that's possible when you address the real root of post-retirement depression is remarkable. Instead of feeling like your best years are behind you, you can discover that retirement offers opportunities for new kinds of contribution and meaning that you never could have imagined during your working years. Instead of feeling invisible and irrelevant, you can find ways to share your wisdom and experience that feel deeply satisfying and impactful. Instead of dreading empty days with nothing meaningful to do, you can wake up with a sense of purpose and direction that gives your life energy and vitality. This isn't about convincing yourself to be grateful for retirement or forcing yourself to enjoy activities that don't truly fulfill you. It's about consciously creating a retirement that honors your need for purpose and meaning while allowing you to contribute your unique gifts to the world. The seniors who are happiest and most fulfilled in retirement aren't those who have the most money or the most leisure time. They're the ones who have found ways to remain generative and purposeful, who feel valued and needed, and who know that their lives continue to matter and make a difference. If you're struggling with depression after retirement, I want you to know that what you're experiencing is both understandable and changeable. The emptiness and sadness you feel aren't permanent conditions or inevitable consequences of aging. They're signals that your soul is hungry for purpose and meaning, and when you feed that hunger with activities and relationships that allow you to contribute and matter, you'll find that the depression begins to lift and hope returns. The key is to stop trying to force yourself to be happy with a retirement that doesn't meet your deepest needs and instead begin the process of creating a retirement that honors who you are and what you have to offer the world. This might require some courage and creativity, especially if you've been told that your retirement should look a certain way or that you should be satisfied with leisure and relaxation. But your emotional well-being is worth the effort it takes to find new sources of purpose and meaning, and the world needs what you have to offer, regardless of your age or retirement status. As you begin this journey of rediscovering your purpose and addressing the real root of your post-retirement depression, remember that you're not alone and that millions of other seniors are struggling with the same issues. The feelings you're experiencing are valid and important, and they deserve to be taken seriously rather than dismissed as inevitable consequences of aging. You have the power to create a retirement that feels meaningful and fulfilling, and the first step is recognizing that your need for purpose and contribution didn't disappear when you left your career. It just needs to be expressed in new ways that honor this stage of your life. Take some time to reflect on what has always given your life meaning, what skills and experiences you have that could benefit others, and what causes or activities spark your interest and enthusiasm. Start small by exploring one or two opportunities that feel aligned with your values and abilities, and be patient with yourself as you discover what truly resonates with you. Remember that building a purposeful retirement is a process, not a destination, and every step you take toward rediscovering your sense of contribution and meaning is a step away from the depression and emptiness that brought you to this moment. Your life has value, your experience matters, and the world is a better place because you're in it. Now it's time to find ways to express that value and share that experience in ways that bring you joy and fulfillment in this new chapter of your life.